was one of the original renewable energy players in South Africa, started in 2008 by Johnny Cullum and Chris Aberdeen, before the industry even began. When they started out, there weren't any renewable energy plants in South Africa. They went around, spoke to farmers, introduced them to the concept of this renewable energy, found land close to Eskom substations, and over the last 15 years have basically built a very large company that currently has 410 megawatts of wind and solar farms that are operational, all selling power to Eskom under long-term power purchases agreements. Where we want to go to is be one of the largest players of renewable energy in South Africa and help fix the energy crisis. And we intend to do this on the back of being acquired by Copenhagen Infrastructure Partners, who are the world's largest renewable energy investor with over 25 billion euros under management. And the idea with their backing and the land that we've acquired is to go build 5,000 megawatts of wind farms and solar farms in South Africa, which is roughly 100 billion rand of investments in the next 5 years. And won't be an easy task because the renewable industry in South Africa is just really beginning, it's getting started. And one of the key challenges that we face is there's two aspects really. One is the regulations, the regulatory environment. It's a new industry, the regulations are still getting put in place. But to be honest, the government has done a huge amount over the last couple of years to deregulate the sector to allow people like Mulilo to do what we do and do it at scale. So I think it's a challenge, but definitely a huge amount of progress. And the second aspect is the South African electricity grid was designed to take power from Mpumalanga, the coal-fired plants, to the rest of the country. And now we're basically trying to take the power from the Eastern Cape, the Northern Cape, the Western Cape, up to Gauteng. So your grid was not designed for renewable energy industry. And there just aren't enough places really for the power plants to connect into the grid. So this is going to slow us down over the next couple of years, but money, capital is coming in to solve the problem. And Mulilo as well actually is looking to help build out the grid so we can almost connect our own projects to our own grid that we're constructing to enable the industry to move faster. Renewable energy is the fastest way to bring more electrons, more energy into South Africa and onto the grid. You can start getting factories working again, you can get people back employed. From a humanity point of view, South Africa has to be in the journey towards shifting from coal-fired power plants to renewable energy because there's a climate crisis. We live in a South Africa which is part of a global environment, and the ability to be competitive is so crucial. Renewable energy is the cheapest energy out there. And by converting South Africa from a coal-based power plant environment to renewables, we have the opportunity to make South Africa a cost leader and cost competitive of the energy that we produce, which means job creation, it means industrialization, and means growth, which South Africa so desperately needs. In South Africa, there's a lot of talk about the just energy transition. And what this means in practice is ensuring that the jobs that currently exist in the coal-fired power plants and coal mines are not lost as South Africa transitions from coal-fired electricity to renewable energy electricity. Mulilo thinks about impact in the communities nearby our power plants in two aspects. One, improving things today for people, and two, trying to impact in a long-term sustainable manner. From a short term, the way we think about this is providing healthcare, mobile clinics, supporting early childhood development facilities to ensure people's daily lives today are better. But our power plants are not short-term assets, they're 20-year assets. So as Mulilo, we have to think long-term and think how do we improve South Africa and the communities in the long run as well. And the way we've chosen to do this is through education. And Mulilo, a number of years ago, created the Mulilo Bursary Fund to fund full 4 years of tertiary education for students from Copenhagen, from Prieska, and ensure students that had the capacity and the aptitude, but not the funding, can now actually go to tertiary facilities like University of Cape Town. And we're very proud that today, that over 100 students that are at university, they would not be there if it wasn't for Mulilo. And the most exciting thing is that a lot of those students come back to Copenhagen, come back to Prieska, and give back to those communities by creating employment, by being doctors, by being engineers. And suddenly we've got in a situation where our power plants were there for 20 years, and the impact we've had on people's lives will last just as long. power sector in South Africa right now is a challenge. We're a source of not enough power. Renewables and additional power is a route to a brighter future in South Africa. Renewables will help transition South Africa from a coal-fired based system, which is not good for the environment, to a cleaner and greener and more sustainable solution. We have a lot of sun, we have a lot of wind, and we really believe that renewables will help produce cheap, cost-effective electricity in South Africa, abundant electricity, so we can reindustrialize, we can create more jobs, and long-term you have a scenario in South Africa where there is power, there is green power, and there's an economy that's growing, creating jobs, which means fundamentally the quality of life of people in South Africa is improved through additional renewable energy.